Now serving your entree of sports and entertainment, the triple shot of Marcus returns. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fish and Grits for the Culture. July 11th, 2018. It's been a minute, fellas. How y'all feeling today?
Ah, it feels good, man. I feel like that song. What's that song that used to come on back in the day? Dun 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 dun. All the chicken heads, be quiet. That's what we need to be playing in the background. If you got a $5 bill, put your hands up.
Oh, he trying to have a
That's what we
food
need.
Man.
contest. That's
That's why we need. That's need the intro. Need to come into that. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, but it's well deserved, because honestly, guys, I've been getting a lot of good feedback as far as people like, hey, where you guys been? I'm like, we just handled a bit business. We had a lot of things to take care of. I know me, myself, I just became an entrepreneur, so I've been super busy. I done went from giving away egg.
Entrepreneur Negro.
I try
I,
pride Negro.
I done went from handing stuff out to getting an order for 160 egg rolls in a matter of 3 weeks. So when I say
Ooh-wee.
things have been super crazy, it's been super crazy. Also in the process, my man Marcus, Will Wilson, that is, he just wrote a mean ass article for the African American news and issues. And I don't know why they ain't posted it yet, but as soon as that shit drop, that's gonna be fire. Griffey been doing
Niggas
his
is
thing.
always slow.
But a couple weeks ago, I told you guys. So I hate to get off on a tangent, but I just been having a lot on my mind. You know, people don't understand what our podcast represents. When we talk about the culture, we talk about everything that we're trying to create. We create our own culture. So we also use this as kind of like a therapy session. So when we haven't been recording, I'll be honest, we're just like, damn, I feel like I haven't been able to express myself, and
Mm-hmm.
that only makes me appreciate you guys more. So when Griff was all like, oh, he must be drunk, and I was all like, oh, you guys are fucking awesome, it's because at one point in the week, I have an opportunity to sit down with two intelligent gentlemen and just have a casual conversation. You just don't have a lot of people that I'm calling y'all on Google Hangouts, but when you call somebody, they don't always pick up the phone. So just knowing when I sit there
Mm-hmm.
and I make that call and I know you guys are gonna respond, it's kind of like, all right, now we in this thing. This is our therapy session. This is our group therapy that I really haven't noticed until we took that little couple weeks off, because this is probably the most consistent thing I've had in my life. I've been between a couple jobs. I finally found a passion I love. But on top of that, this podcast has been with me for almost 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like the relationship that me and Griffin built, that's like a brotherhood. Then last year, me and Griffin talking, we like, hey man, maybe we should start bringing people on, just because this is a podcast for the people. The first day we had Wilson on, I didn't want nobody else. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
that perfect mix he brought in. Just he fit in so well. So I just want you guys to know that I really do appreciate you guys. If we don't record once a year, if we don't record once a month, it doesn't matter. We always gonna have that brotherhood, and I just want them to understand what this podcast represents as a brotherhood.
Most
Hey.
definitely, man. Most definitely. And please understand, if you never know anything else, that sentiment is fully reciprocated, sir. Uh it's nothing but love for all of you guys, man. It's one of those things that's always been great to be able to have this outlet, because like you said, it's one of those things that's missing, and in particularly for us as men of color. um Sometimes you get caught up in the machismo, sometimes you get caught up in the perception and stuff like that. It's rare that you find brothers that get together and just talk, not argue, not go at each other's throats, but just talk. Not to say that we always agree with everything, but in the way that we choose to handle it, we speak to gain understanding. We don't speak to be right. We don't speak to win an argument per se. We speak to share knowledge and hopefully have that passed on to the people that choose to listen to our podcast. And to me, that's the epitome of what the culture is about, because at the end of the day, it's about understanding, it's about growth, and it's about evolution. And we try to represent that every single time we get behind these microphones and we speak to you guys. It's always a pleasure to be able to get together and joke around and do what we enjoy and stuff like that, man. But it's also signs of progress and stuff like that. It represents growth for us as men to be able to be on this platform and show that we've come a long way from episode one as a triple shot to now almost 40 episodes in. You can go back and look at it. We've improved so much, and the chemistry is there. It's just gone up, like every time we go through it just steps up another level. And there's nothing better that I can think of to do with my time with two better gentlemen that I know right now. And yes, it is a brotherhood. It's gonna always be a brotherhood. And for anybody that has not tasted Mr. Demarcus Broughton's food, your life is sorely lacking.
Oh yeah, you missing out on some good egg rolls, some good. I had that
Holy
lobster tail and
shit.
that
Woo!
craft. Ooh, man, it was so good. And you made
I
a
got
personal delivery. Hey, low key, let me be honest with you, dog. I almost ran up on you and you almost got shot, dog. I pulled up to the house with Xavier and I said, "Who is this nigga?" I said, "Who? What is this car sitting
man.
out in front of the
I
house?"
was taking a nap, Wilson. When he pulled up, I was knocked. I said,
I
"Oh,
ain't know
Oh
who that
my
was, man. I
god.
was like, "Hey,
I
man," I
was,
was about to say, Xavier, cover your eyes, man.
Like the goddamn like the goddamn
I was leaning back, like we was about to go on a lit mission. I was
Yeah, like
leaning
he was
back.
gonna mob right quick. I was like, we're gonna cancel his plans before they get started.
Riff rolled up
But
like
yeah,
who
man,
been sitting over here with these lights off? Hit the lights,
yeah, man. But
Xavier. Hit the
I've
lights.
been, and then my mama rolled up. I said, "Oh yeah, we gonna tag team this nigga."
They did both
But
pull up.
nah,
I got all this shit.
it was crazy, unplanned. Look at God. Look at he
Oh.
said, "I shall have you covered."
He's got food for you. Don't do it to him. Don't do it to him. He's got
But
food for
yeah,
you.
it's been a great run because I was thinking about that the other day when I think I was talking to somebody I work with, and they were talking about the podcast and they checked it out and how they enjoy it and they was trying to get onto the page we have. And I said, man, it's just crazy how much traffic we get on that little page that we started the concept. We came up with the concept the end of last year, and how it's grown since then, and how you see people are like that haven't met ever talk like we've been friends for forever. And it's been a great kind
Exactly.
of a branch off of this show, and that we never really expected or even planned for. So it's going to be great to see how we advance in the next 5 years, and we'll look back and we say, hey man, I remember when we started from me and Demarcus calling up and trying to talk about sports, and it's like, man, what's going to work and what's not going to work, and trying to come up with the concept of the show. So getting the artwork and all that, and getting Wilson on. So it's been a great ride, and I appreciate both of y'all fellas.
And what I haven't been able to tell you guys, along with the restaurant that's going to be opening up in a couple weeks, there is a recording studio right next to it.
Ooh,
So
and the turn up is about to be so real.
so we
Uh-oh.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Kiki, do you love me? Are you
Please,
Oh
ready?
my God.
I've
We
heard
couldn't
that
even make it
song
5 minutes into this
I
damn
know.
podcast
I,
without hearing that
I
damn
was
song.
I
Dog, I
was
hate
thinking
that
we gonna
song.
go hear it all. God
I
damn
hate
it.
that song. I hate that song. I'm not much gonna lie
Everybody
to
I
you, man.
know, everybody I see that I even think has a nickname of Kiki might get these hands. Just off GP.
Yes, man. That is the worst. Hey,
Tonight,
Kiki has overstayed her welcome.
Kiki has
man.
now become the most hated
Exit
nickname in the
stage.
hood ever.
Kiki Shepherd, I don't want to hear from you. Kiki
You
Palmer,
might get
go
these
away.
hands. You might get these
Kiki
hands.
Wyatt.
You
Hey,
might get
little
Ricky.
Kiki,
now.
get out of Houston. Little Kiki, get out
Kiki
of
Wide, you
Houston.
cool. Kiki Wide, I have no problems with you. I don't want that smoke. I know about you anymore. I'm good. The
They
rest of you
gangsters. They
Kikis
gangsters.
though, the rest of you Kikis though, yeah, you know what it is.
But
Hey,
man,
man.
y'all been catching any movies? Or what's been going on the entertainment aspect? What shows y'all been catching? I know y'all had time to catch up on something.
Oh yeah, I caught up on.
Man,
Man, I have not caught up on Luke Cage yet. That is pitiful. That's how busy I've been.
All right,
I'm
Griff.
on
there's nothing
episode
wrong with
three.
that, man. There's nothing wrong with that. I got your back. It's all good. Uh, went went in, caught some of that good Ant-Man action. They did not let
Oh,
me
let's talk
down once
about it.
again. Fabulous, fabulous job. They kept the spirit, that same mood, that same flow, that same chemistry that they had in the first movie, which was a underrated success, and they perfectly translated it over into this one. Doing some nice curveballs at you, doing the added mix with Hope Van Dyne being the Wasp added in, of course, is another hero. But then you finally get to meet Janet Van Dyne in this movie as well, as they go through one of the key parts of the plot is that they're actually going subatomic to save her from the quantum universe. Uh, Great interactions once again. All of the cast members that you remember from the first one are still there, including the daughter, including Ti and his bunch of convicts that now run a security system company. It's got good twists and turns. It's got the good lighthearted humor. It's got the great interactions and dialogue, but it pushes the story along very well. Of course, they give you another one of those Marvel world famous after credit scenes, which kind of lets you know what they had been up to during said Infinity War and some of the ramifications that hit them after Infinity War. But overall, great movie. Anybody that hasn't seen it, go see it. You will not be disappointed.
Man, I enjoyed the movie. It was cool. I didn't like it as much as I liked the first one for whatever odd reason. I personally didn't like the villain. I mean, Walter Goggins, as much as I like him on, you know, Justified and Sons of Anarchy and on Tomb Raider, he could have been a better villain. I feel like everything was a slapstick joke. I mean, I laughed at everything. I enjoyed the movie for what it
It's
said,
almost
but it
like it
felt
didn't have like a real villain.
it okay.
That's one of the things that kind of got me. It almost felt like you didn't really have like a real villain because they had antagonists in there, but it wasn't really like the same way in the first one. Like you knew Yellow Jacket was like arch
Hmm.
nemesis villain. This one, yeah, you had some dudes that was trying to get at him, but it wasn't really established. Like, okay, who's the villain in here? Is it Ghost? Is it Goggins? Is it Fishburne? I mean, they gave you a lot of antagonists, but they never really gave you that clear cut. Okay, this is the villain that we're trying to defeat.
And the one thing I did about the movie, it reminds me of, it's like, you know how you have Iron Man 3 in that category as, oh, that's a good movie, or you got Thor Ragnarok. I would throw Ant-Man and the Wasp in that. It was like entertaining movie. If it's on, I'm going to enjoy it. But it wasn't like changing Marvel's landscape or anything like that. It's just a good little,
Oh no.
as they say, it's a good palate cleanser for, what Avengers gonna got cooking up.
Good
Anything.
little something to give you something to tide you over until you get to Captain Marvel and then you get to, Infinity War Part 2. It is what it is.
We still got like
Oh,
8 months.
man, but let's talk about another movie I hadn't saw, and I know Wilson ain't seen this. I hope DeMarcus ain't seen this. Sicario 2.
I haven't caught it yet. Haven't caught it yet.
Dog, I'm gonna be honest with you. The first, so on Howard's podcast today, we talked about Sicario 2, and we talked about some of the good movies with terrible endings, and does it ruin the movie? And we start talking about like War of the Worlds and movies of that, The Dark Knight Rises, and I was like, Sicario 2 is like that. It's so good on the first half, but it lacks in that ending, and it just the ending kind of pissed me off, and it wasn't in a good way. It wasn't like I'm not Thor Ragnarok. What's that movie we saw? Infinity War or Lord of the Rings. The cliffhanger, I didn't like it at all. I don't know about you, Wilson.
The fact that it didn't really hold a lot of weight as a cliffhanger, I think is what disturbed me more than anything else. It
Exactly.
it just kind of left you flat. I know what the intent was per se, but it just kind of left you like, do I even really want to see how the cliffhanger gets resolved? Like,
Okay, let's can we spoil this right quick? Because I'm gonna tell you where the lead up was up to the point where when he moved into it's full spoilers, when he goes and him and the girl that he had, trying to, take back his dad, when they went to that house with that family, and when he just like buried his guns and they kind of went incognito, that's when the film just kind of dropped off to me, because I was just like, it just got boring and he became uninteresting. And I was like, the thing that you made him interesting about that he was a badass and you couldn't kill him and all that, you kind of just made him kind of weak. They hit him upside the head and then they tied him up. I'm like, okay, that sucks.
it's like they ran out of story, so they just ad libbed after that point. Just
And
let's fill up enough time to make this actual movie.
yeah, man, it kind of depressed me. I mean, the first half was awesome. I mean, the suspense on that first half was incredible.
And it's funny because people that go see it in reverse order, if they see this movie first, they'll swear up and down it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then when they watch the first one, they'll be like, hey, wait a minute.
Didn't live up to the
Oh,
hype.
they need to love that first one. That first one, man, that
First
first
one
one
is
still
classic.
holds up.
First one is super underrated in my opinion. A lot of people still don't give it the proper respect or love as it as I feel it should. Both as
Hmm.
like a
Art film.
kind of a espionage thriller type
Hmm.
movie slash action film. I think it's severely underrated. Like that bad
And
boy
the character,
is high on my list.
the thing I did like about this movie was you did get to see more of a serious side of Josh Brolin's character that I really liked, and he was a little
Yeah.
bit fleshed out more than he was in the first movie. But the thing that this movie is missing is heart, and you felt something for Emily Blunt's character and what she was dealing with, or when she was about to get raped or something like that. You felt those scenes, or with the black friend from what's his name, Get Out or whatever, how he was just worried about and concerned about her as a partner and stuff like that. So that kind of sold me more. But in this movie, they could have done a little bit more on the character. But other than that, I mean, it was a cool film. I enjoyed it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, Mission Impossible. That's the one I'm waiting on. Man, every time I see a trailer, I just get giddy inside.
That come out.
And honestly, just because I want to get my low key quick fix in, kind of wanting to see what this skyscraper is all about Friday too.
Oh man, The Rock. Oh man, every time I see it,
I mean, it's a Rock action movie. I haven't really been let down too many times with The Rock when it comes to action movies. You know, as cheesy or as cliche as they may be, it's still a good action movie at the end of the day. So I'm not gonna be mad. But I'm just kind of seeing what they got, going on with this one.
I haven't seen Rampage, so I still want to see how that is.
Rampage is pretty good. Rampage.
Oh well, now that you say that, now I want to see it.
But I mean, Rock is pretty damn consistent. Isn't he? Can't do no wrong at this point.
Did y'all see? Yeah, I mean, he's in his wheelhouse. He's in his lane. He doesn't try to overdo it or underwhelm you. He just stays right in that groove, keeps hitting the sweet spot, and keeps banging home runs.
Mm-hmm. Y'all see Baller, the new Ballers trailer?
I didn't.
Yes.
It looks very interesting.
Cannot wait for that, sir.
Not Ricky Gervais. I was gonna say Ricky Gervais. Eldon Brand is on there. It's good to see him return.
Oh boy,
I don't know where he's been at. Man. This dude kind of fell off.
Yeah.
I mean, after he did that Arthur movie, he kind of just died off. I was like, dang, what happened to Eldon Brand? Whatever his name is, Russell Brand, whatever his name is.
Boy, I thought you were talking about the best.
We know who you meant.
Oh no. Eldon Brand. Not Eldon Brand. Russell Brand. I'm sorry.
Russell Brand. Yeah.
It's late.
And for anybody that's not with the times or doesn't have a pulse or has been living under a rock and stuff like that, I guess on behalf of Fish and Grits, we will push this again like we've always pushed all the hidden gems. If you are not watching Claws, kill yourself. If you are not watching Marvel's Cloak and Dagger, kill yourself. Two of the most underrated yet greatest shows on TV right now.
Man, that first episode of Claws just put a bitter taste in my mouth. And I haven't been able to go back since. It was just a lot.
Man, you gotta just now. Have you watched? Are you talking about season 1 or season 2?
Season 2. I watched the first episode when First Lady came. It was a lot going on, man. It was a lot going on.
By the time you get to episode 3, you'll be right back on track. Trust me.
I can easily go back. I did watch.
Oh, while we talking about shows, were we talking about Power?
No, I just said I watched.
We haven't yet, but I was waiting for you to chime in.
We need to talk about Power, and I'm going to say this. I am very offended by those people who said, do y'all remember the people that was talking in season 3 and was like, hey, this show gonna be better than The Wire. Oh, this show gonna be better. Never say that again. Never say that again. It reminds me of when people talk about don't ever talk about that.
They Power is Power Rangers. They like Power Rangers. Actually.
Dog, I'm so sorry, man. That man. Oh God. The first episode was cool. The second episode just made me just roll my eyes. I said, "This is the second episode."
You can already tell that they're giving you the filler episodes. Like episode 2, I'm sure episode 3 and episode 4, they're gonna be filler episodes. Yeah, they follow their same format.
Ghost was in jail for 5 episodes, bro. He did not have to be in jail that long. Just in jail.
I'm just so offended at who writes Power, man.
I just want to know when they're gonna kill Tommy because I need Tommy to die. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, he be doing some dumb shit, and I'm just be Tommy like, ooh.
I just want to know who's gonna be great. I think Ghost got to kill Tommy.
I need to let Tommy be great.
No, bro. No, he's been great, and he's been
taking them out.
I know, right? He fucking up big time.
The Italians don't fuck around like that. They like, yeah, these Moulignans might let you slide with that bullshit. We don't play that over here.
Yeah, he can kill two.
His daddy partner let him know too. Don't make me lie. Don't make me lie for you again.
Bop, bop.
Man,
I don't know, man. I just don't know what to say with Power. I can't even review it honestly. I mean, you know what's going on.
Power, man. We gotta wait. Until you damn near get halfway through the season before we figure out what the hell all the talking is from the first 5 episodes to see what they're gonna get to. Yeah,
because Angela's pissing me. Tariq is pissing me off. Lala just came back. She underrated. under the table came back when we low key thought she was dead, and then
Lala, you
And
are so fine.
I don't know
Oh
what
my
I
God.
don't know what her role is. She just looked fine every time we see
I
her.
don't care what her role is.
Oh,
Lala, you are so fine. Oh
she
my
really
God.
is in good shape. She really is in good shape from if you look at her
Sweet mother of
TRL day till
everything. You
now.
talk about one of them. You talk about one of them rare occurrences with a sister where you actually got greater later.
hmm.
Hmm.
Oh my God.
I
DJ
would give her
Lala.
credit.
Carmelo, you should be ashamed of yourself for cheating on that homeboy.
Oh yeah, he crazy. The cheat
Man,
on anyone is terrible.
he was up in New York, man. It's hard up. It's hard up there, bro.
I mean, in the what dog? It's
Yeah,
hard
I grew up
anywhere.
in New York, and that's still not a good excuse. Yeah, it's hard anywhere.
It's
Yeah,
hard anywhere,
it's hard
son.
anywhere.
I mean, when you in a different tax bracket, man, they just be trying to throw it at you, bro. I mean,
Hey,
I,
the
I ain't
struggle
trying
is
to
No,
make
probably
hell,
I,
real.
no.
I ain't trying to make no excuse for him. But I mean, he a basketball player, bro. What you expect? What you expect? These basketball players ain't faithful. Any athlete,
He was a
honestly.
basketball player that actually, at the said time of getting together, was kind of reaching above his pay grade by scoring somebody like a Lala, because most folks didn't think that he actually had enough swag to pull somebody like
I'm
that.
so
But
glad that I'm
as
so
you
glad
said,
he
I
said
guess
that.
with money and stuff like that, I guess it changes everything. So I mean,
Hey, he
okay.
got a point. He got a point because I did not think when I heard Melo got with Lala,
When
I
they
was like,
first got
what?
together, brothers was like, "Who?
Bro, no, but
Like,
Oh hell no, he ain't
nobody was
get
checking for DJ Lala back in the gap, man. I mean,
no, everybody was. Are you serious? Do you know how many
shit,
people? Dog, she hosted
shit."
TRL. TRL was probably the most successful TV show in syndicated history. That is very underrated. And
yeah, but
she
she
didn't
was
host.
she was underrated for a long time though.
Dog, I remember everybody trying to holler at her
I'm
from
not. I'm
The
Nelly
not
on
saying.
only
down the
the
line.
only reason why you might have had a small percentage of people that were kind of distracted and not really checking for Lala like that,
Because Lisa Ray was still popping.
Mm.
That's Lisa Ray.
that's
That's Lisa.
it.
That's Lisa. That's Lisa Ray Prime, bro. Lisa Players Club was out around that time.
Lisa's always been kind of overrated to me, honestly. I like her
I agree.
sister better.
I
No,
agree. And then on top of that, if you want to be, if you truly,
back then, Lisa Ray.
first of all, I'm so you gonna be checking for Lisa Ray, who you see in what
Man,
every 2 years in a movie, or
I watch.
Lala, who you see every day, every day after
And I
school.
mean, let's not get it twisted. We still talking about a relative golden age because you still had a young Gabrielle Union that didn't
Oh
really know her swag yet, a young Sanaa Lathan, in her prime Nia Long that was crushing it at that time. I mean, it wasn't
Regina
like she ain't
Hall.
have her fair share of
Nobody's really.
competition.
Remember,
Yeah, you know
remember, you had Melissa Ford running through every video.
Ooh,
what?
I
The
could
pride,
be
the real pride of Canada. Hello,
I
hey Miss Ford, hey Jessica
heard she
Rabbit.
got in an accident. You know, I hope she has a successful recovery. I heard she got in a really bad accident.
We're seeing some pop.
Yeah, yeah.
Get the strap.
I mean, you had the upswing of so many folks that was just starting to come in. Vivica Fox was just starting to come on the rise. Making Good, extremely young, but was still trying to come on and be on the rise. I mean, there was
That's what
there
I'm
was
saying. Like
no depth. There was
when I'm talking
no
about the
loss of talent.
rankings, I'm saying when you talk about the rankings, I just don't think I always thought Lala was fine. She always had that certain look, you know what I'm saying, mixed with Puerto Rican, but I just don't think she was high on the depth charts, man.
That's what I'm
And I
saying. She
guess
got
where me
finer
and
with
Marcus are
age.
coming from is the fact that she's got that multimedia exposure that helped her out earlier, where
Hmm.
other folks may not have, and
She
she
got that
did have
mom.
them in
She
the
got that
competition. Because
right.
remember back then you didn't have people that multitask as well because you still had your print girls like a Melissa Ford, like a Key Toy, like a Buffy the
She
Body
was a
that
every
was coming around at that time and was murdering it. But Lala was on your TV every day.
and this is the
That's an
thing about
advantage.
Lala, and this is why everybody liked Lala, because she was like that cute girl that no one thought you could get with, but she can relate with all the other guys, and you just be like, you know what I'm talking about? She
Yeah,
was one
she
of
was
those
that
women that
around the way filet, that Boricua that everybody wanted to just hang out with. Hey, la la, mira, mommy, what's poppin'? You know, just had that
see
vibe.
that brother, yay!
You know what I'm saying? You know, but everybody was like cool on the outside, but on the inside, like, man, I wish she'd give me a shot, man. She don't know.
Exactly,
I play
exactly,
that baby
exactly.
face for a fool. I'm gonna cook for her, man. I'm gonna pay that rent, son. Just
Sound
let me get a shot.
I found my cool queen, and I'm good. Ah, thank you, Lala, for inspiring these
Man,
young
every
women.
brother secretly wanted to play that baby face. This is for the cool in you and dance up on her like Stefana Urkel did Laura Winslow. Just come on, girl. Come on, take my hand.
Take that Diddy voice.
Man,
Man,
I seen you in Shantae doing little kissy faces. I almost cried, man. I'm glad y'all back together, bro.
Dog, I almost cried. You see my
I
reaction on
almost
Facebook?
cried.
I was like, "Oh
I almost put some hearts. I didn't want to do it. I almost
wow."
put some hearts.
Oh
Hey
Lord.
man, God's been good, man. I told somebody the other day. I
Yeah,
said, man, if
bro.
I just look at the, I just said I look at the change that has taken place from November of last year to now. I said God has been good. From getting me out of depression to getting a job to me and Shantae working it out, and then Xavier getting his mind right. God has been
But
tremendous in my
like we
life.
always said, Griff, that was just part of the process. We never given anything that we're not supposed to go through that we can't handle. Like they only give the tough jobs to the toughest people. So you just had to go through that. But man, you survived, my brother. You
This
survived.
is
You
true.
already know,
The war
like they
zone. The
always
war
say,
zone.
man.
Had to
There's
go through.
there's no man that can claim wisdom without the scars to prove it.
That's true, bro.
Ooh, that's facts.
That's true, man. Man, what y'all thought about NBA free agency? Anything surprise y'all for the most part? Anything kind of shocking to you guys? I know we haven't been able to discuss it. We've seen a lot of major moves happen,
Man,
but
he went for the Uncle Buzz moment immediately.
Ooh, can I call? Okay, before he goes to the Uncle Buzz moment, there's one free agent move that I'm mad that hasn't taken place yet, and this
talk
is
to me.
how I am. If I'm Danny Ainge, I'm surprised he has not traded for Jimmy Butler yet, for the simple fact that little cryptic thing about Jimmy Butler and Kyrie wanting to play together, and then that would also incentivize Kyrie to stay and re-sign with Boston, and they can get Gordon Hayward off of their books, and Gordon Hayward would also thrive with the Timberwolves, and I think Gordon Hayward would fit better with Karl Anthony Towns than Jimmy Butler, because I don't think he has that type of dominant personality, and they would become type of friends and had to correct that chemistry. I'm surprised that trade hasn't happened yet. Honestly, I'm gonna be quite honest. It makes too much sense, honestly.
I mean,
The
but
only the
if you're the
only
Celtics, do
problems
you
that I
want to
would
waste
have with that,
assets?
yeah, the only
But you
problems that
wouldn't
I
wait.
would have with that is this, and that's the fact that we don't know how much Danny Ainge does or does not love Gordon Hayward.
That's
First
true.
off,
Brad loves him.
secondly, we don't want the potential veteran backcourt tandem of Butler and Kyrie to override and stunt the growth of that young core that they have on their wings too, because we don't know how. The same way that Butler doesn't like the way that these young bucks in Minnesota are doing their thing, he might not like the way that Tatum and Jalen Brown are doing their thing over there too. And then you got a
And
whole nother bag of worms.
And the only reason why, the only thing I have to say about that is because I just know Thibodeau is known for working his players kind of hard, and I can see him working Cat and what's the name, Wiggins really hard, and them bitching like like young kids do. But I think Brad Stevenson is more of an approachable coach that he would allow, I guess, freedom, not freedom of speech, but cohesion and not overworking his players. And they look like they would have a nice camaraderie, all four of those players. And Al Horford's getting older, so his minutes need to be reduced. And I feel like that four can really pop off, because you still got Tatum on the rookie contract, Jalen Brown you can sign for the
Oh
low.
yeah.
You can give Butler a max. You can afford to give Kyrie a max, and you got Al Horford contract coming up next year too. So it would make sense to me, but it's probably not gonna happen. But I like
And
Gordon
I
Hayward,
do
and I
not disagree. Don't get me wrong. I do not disagree. I just don't feel that Danny loves it as much as we do.
hey, this is the real reason. What we talk about the other episode. Boston loves their white people. They don't want too many
Oh,
niggers in
white
that bad
people,
boy.
white people, white people. They trade Gordon Hayward. They may ride.
We
Yeah, they
gonna
gonna
have
ride in
another
the street.
bird in here, and you gonna trade him to Minnesota? Here's my season tickets back. I'm done
And
with y'all.
take them, Danny Ainge. I'm about to ride. Where's
I
Larry Bird? Bring him back.
I don't think there's nobody in Boston that can cut that Jimmy Butler flat top, bro. I just don't think. I don't think
No,
nobody can make that.
no.
You
He
gonna have
makes it
to get
look fly.
you gonna have
Jimmy
to get
Butler be looking like a clown, but he be making it look fly sometimes.
Jimmy Butler look like he's straight from the '90s, like a straight '90s hooper. That's exactly
He
how he
do
I
look.
like a
don't know about
90s
that though.
hooper.
He is. I mean, he's a traditional '90s two guard, dog on defense, get it through, make it happen. Not necessarily a shooter, but more of a scorer on offense. I mean, he fits
Jimmy
that
Butler takes
traditional
some
mold.
wild. He takes some wild ass shots to be
Yeah,
considered.
by no means will you ever see on his scouting report that Jimmy Butler is ever confused with a shooter. He's a scorer, but he's not a shooter by any means.
He has his little
That's
spurts
true.
though. He shows flashes of greatness every now and then though.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
streaky. He'll have some times when his head is on straight and he's actually paying attention where he shoots decent, but he's not consistent enough to ever be considered a above average shooter. He's a
That's
great scorer. He can find ways to get to the hole. He'll find ways to get that basket, but he's not the guy that you're just going to automatically readily say, let's kick it out to him on the wing and let him light it up. That's not
can I
that's not that guy. That's not his
can I
function.
say this one thing about Jimmy Butler? I was impressed of his growth, not last year, but the year before last, on how he kind of carried that Bulls team when Rondo was hurt. Um, in the later part of the year, when they kind of went on that
Yeah, he was
run,
stepping up like
I
he was
was
a
like,
franchise
damn, he
guy.
was coming
Like
out like 44, 41 points. I was like, oh, wait,
yeah,
this is
like he
Jimmy
looked like
Butler?
he was about to be in that conversation of like, okay, when we talk about the top guys, the face of the league type guys, I was like, shit, Jimmy looks like he's standing there
He
like,
getting up there.
somebody gonna let me in? Hello.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see this. Oh, I can't wait till next year. I'm not going to lie. I'm sick
man.
of hearing LeBron.
Man, that's not even worth conversation, man. That is what it is at the end of the day. But for me, let me be a little buzzworthy right now
Go
and
for it.
fuss at my rivals, because I've talked about it on plenty of podcasts, but I guess they didn't want to listen to me and they let his ass go to the heartland. Uh, dear Houston Rockets, I'm not even gonna start on y'all with this whole Capella thing, but you could have did yourselves a solid, got yourselves a terrific upgrade, and in hindsight, seeing how much he's getting from Indiana, you could have got him at a great price. Tyreek Evans is the missing third slash fourth star that you needed in your rotation to properly compete with the Golden State Warriors.
That's true.
He fits into the offense perfectly. His skill set fits in perfectly. Hell, he can play the 1, the 2, and the 3 in the D'Antoni system. And you could have got him on the cheap because Indiana getting him 1 year for 12 million. That's a steal,
They're
flat
going to
out
be number
steal.
2 next year. Watch.
Yeah, they're coming on strong. They have some nice pieces in that rotation that's
Hey,
going to actually have them
those young players taking up a
really.
step.
Sabonis and what's his name? And
Miles Turner.
I like kid TJ Leaf, that kid at
yeah,
UCLA.
they
Yeah,
stepped up big in the playoffs, and I can't wait to watch them play next. They have a stack roster, man. Thaddeus Young, you still got Miles Turner, Oladipo, then you got Tyreek Evans, then you got McDermott coming in. Ooh, and you still got Bogdanovich. I like that squad.
That's a nice
yeah, they're
squad.
gonna make some noise.
Yeah, they just got to match up well. I think they match up better against a Philly team. I think Boston give them more fits, but I think they
Mm-hmm.
can upset. I think with their defense, they can upset a Philly team if Ben Simmons can
Mm-hmm.
take another step.
Exactly.
I see
If they
Boston.
can gel early, I think that. Oh yeah, if they gel early though, I think that the Boston's and Phillies of the world will be more concerned about Indiana than Indiana will be concerned about them
I agree. And what were you saying, Wilson? I mean, not Wilson.
because
Demarcus.
they have super spoiler. They have super spoiler written all over them.
I agree.
I just say there's no way. I don't see nobody else but Boston coming out the East next year. I mean, with all that talent and them actually being able to gel and Brad Stevens actually being able to coach that team with all that talent,
Mm-hmm.
there's no reason that they shouldn't be. They should have been in the finals this year, but
Should have
next year,
been.
sure, is no reason they shouldn't be in the finals.
Can't miss 32 threes in a
Well,
game 7.
I mean, unless literally Embiid becomes a monster in the playoffs and said I'm going to the finals, is no reason.
And there is a
well,
thing I
we
do
also got to
like.
make sure we're not paying attention to the elephant that's in the room though, because one of the things that I think helped Boston in their development and in their run in the playoffs and stuff like that is that they were a team that was pretty much devoid of ego
Mm-hmm.
during that had run. Two veteran personalities outside of Al Horford weren't on the court. It's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic changes because somebody's going to give up minutes to let Kyrie and Hayward play. Somebody's going to give up touches and opportunities to control the flow of the offense in order to let those two gentlemen do what they do naturally. And
And
that's
I
going
know,
to
Oh
be the
yeah.
key where Stevens is going to have to come in and actually step up with that coaching because
but
there is a such thing as too many Chiefs and not enough Indians in basketball, especially.
and this is going to be the most interesting thing that I can't wait to see on how much people are going to eat crow when they see how good Gordon Hayward is and how good he is off ball and
I
how
don't
good
know
of a defender
why
he
they
is.
hate on this man. I don't know why they hate on Gordon Timberlake. Y'all better understand that man changed that
Hey,
hairstyle for a reason.
future sex love sounds. That boy said he
What?
bringing sexy back. Oh, but another sleeper. I did want to talk about 2 seconds by Philly getting Wilson Chandler and signing JJ Redick for the low. It's two quiet,
Steal.
nice moves. I like that the Sixers did
Steal.
because Wilson Chandler is going to fill in really well with what they probably want to do and slide in Covington probably to play the four at times if he wants to because he got the long
Like
arms.
they've literally low key with that move moved themselves up into potentially being like a top 3 defensive team in the league because
I agree.
Chandler's defense is underrated. Covington's defense was already
Underrated.
underrated, and if you get an Embiid healthy playing the whole season, and oh by the way, my point guard is 7 feet tall, so that's already a matchup nightmare. Come
And
on,
Mm-hmm.
man.
you don't know what Markel Fultz can become. So that's
Yeah,
just
well, he can
Because
bring
he's
it.
actually a decent on-ball defender as well.
Mhm.
Shooting woes
he
to
got he
be
got a, he
ignored.
got a 7 foot wingspan.
He's a decent defender.
And
Come
he out
on,
here
don't
dunking
give
on boys. He out here dunking on
what?
boys. If y'all been watching on some of these
I
videos, I
got
said,
my
"Ooh,
shot back,
wait,
son. I
But
got
no,
my
yeah,
shot
man."
back.
nobody ever questioned his athleticism. He's super athletic. It's just
Yeah.
the,
It's
the
just his shot just
shooting.
disappeared on him. It like literally left the building on him.
It became mental at some point. I'm like, Jesus Christ, he really
Yeah,
is.
they got with the Monstars in the offseason and got that ball back, let him get his powers. So we'll
Griffin,
see how it goes.
do you got any hope in Toronto? Do you got any hope in Toronto?
Uh, they'll be like number 4. I mean, they'll probably be number 5, 6. The only reason why is because I don't like the coach. I don't know anything about the coach, and
Man,
they really didn't do any move. They didn't really approve anywhere. Where a lot of teams like the Pacers, the Sixers, Boston still coming back with 2 of their stars have improved.
Exactly.
That's why I can't say
Exactly.
name too much about
It's
them.
not that the Raptors got worse. It's just that the rest of the East got better.
Because people
They
keep
didn't
talking about how
necessarily
terrible the
get
East is
worse.
going to be, but I don't think it's going to be that
Yeah,
bad. I
it's
think
gonna
the
be
East is
fun as
going to be the
hell
most
to watch
entertaining.
next year.
Exactly. I just think it's going to be very entertaining. And
Them
then,
Eastern teams is gonna be so excited because they ain't got to deal
hey,
with damn LeBron no more. They
oh,
about to be
hey,
balls to the wall.
Dwight Howard up in Washington, man. Y'all never know.
that's what I was about to say. And this
Never
is
know.
why I think that the Raptors are going to fall even lower is because Dwight Howard went to Washington, and then Washington got somebody else. But on top of that, the Bucks got Budenholzer, and Budenholzer is a I think Budenholzer got the most out of his 4 that he got, and now he has a Jabari Parker if he comes back, a Giannis, and then a Brogdon, and
But
then
Eric
these.
Bledsoe is so trash. I don't like him, man.
He
I
doesn't
don't
fit
like
with the chemistry and the makeup
him
of
at
that
all.
team.
At all.
He'll be traded real quick. He'll be traded real quick.
But
They can trade him to
I
the
don't think
Knicks.
you get nothing for him though. You feel me? Like I just don't think he has any value as I don't know what he brings to the court.
The Knicks will pay for him.
He's a guy that's good in transition. He's a decent on-ball defender, and he's one of those guys that gets streaky when it comes to having those scoring outbursts. But the thing about Bledsoe is he has to be in a system or on a team where literally he's either the number 1 or the number 2 option, period. That's where he thrives the best, which in my money, it's one of those things where I always think that Eric Bledsoe will be one of those great guys that you always see on losing teams with fantastic numbers.
Exactly.
I mean, that's
Mm.
the way it strikes me. But that being said, there's plenty of teams that'll take that.
And you know, a team that I said that he should always go to, or a team that I've been thinking about he should go to, if this was going to happen, is he should go to Orlando or he should go to the Heat and play opposite
For
of
my money, he
with
can
Dragic.
go. For my money, he can go to Charlotte.
Hey, they
Put up a
say
ton of
Charlotte
points.
would. Ooh,
they
that
got
would be nice.
Waiters coming back, man, in Miami.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
they
take
go through and do their thing.
Kaminsky. I'll take Kaminsky and who else they got on that team?
I like
Batum. I'll take Batum and Kaminsky for Eric Bledsoe.
Or hell, I'll take Kimba straight up for him.
Man, they not trading Kim. They would have
They
been
not trading. That'd be crazy to trade Kimba. But Kimba would be
At
nice.
a certain
Ooh,
point
Kimba
in
would be
time,
nice.
you're gonna give up Kimba because you ain't got no other choice, and you are
They
floundering as a
they
franchise.
going
When
in,
you
they
are
going,
already being whispered about as being the worst GM in basketball currently and one of the worst of all
What
time, the competitiveness in one Michael Jeffrey Jordan will make him take penitentiary
what
chances like that.
okay, Jabari Parker, Tony Snell, and I'll give you Eric Gordon. I mean, not Eric Gordon. Yeah, Eric Gordon. Not Eric Gordon. What's his name? Bledsoe, whatever the hell his name
I'll
is.
try to trade.
And then I'll get Batum and give me Kaminsky, or just give me Batum and what's his name? Point
Well,
guard.
Batum ain't leaving. I can tell you that right now.
You don't think he gonna leave?
Batum ain't leaving because he just recruited his partner to come over there and sign for 2 years, Mr. Tony Parker. And
That
the
is
head
true.
coach, which is an assistant from the Spurs, likes the way that Batum fits because
The
he
French
plays like a
Connection.
Spur.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he's
like
not
Batum
he's
a
not
lot.
going nowhere. Yeah, I like Batum too, and that was one of the main reasons because they did the whole thing when Tony Parker got signed by Charlotte. He said straight up one of the main reasons that he came over there is because Batum recruited him super hard.
Batum should have been with the. I said he should have been with the Spurs, man. That was gonna be our
He's
X
got that
factor,
feel
man.
to him, man. He's got that skill set. But yeah, I mean, he always reminded me, he's got that slightly more athletic Bruce Bowen type skill set to me.
Hmm.
Super
He was a
lanky.
Giannis before Giannis. He just
Oh,
couldn't
A
wasn't as
Giannis
athletic as
light,
Giannis.
a Giannis,
He has.
it's a
super
He
Giannis
light.
light.
was. Do
Like
you
Great
not?
value
Hold on,
Giannis.
hold on, hold on.
like
Pause, pause,
50.
pause. Do you not remember how amazing Batum was with the
And
Blazers and
he's
how
like,
he
yes.
was the key. He was the key to their defense, and on top of that, that man can shoot the hell out that three.
Brother,
He was
you
pissing me off.
preaching to the choir. You preaching to the choir, which is one of the reasons why, if people remembered back in time before he got big and started winning rings, it's kind of the way that it reminded me about Boris Diaw.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. But also with the Blazers, they had one of the most unique starting fives
Man, it was
that
so
you could
good.
ever put together. When you talk about Wesley Matthews at
Man,
the height of his prime, LaMarcus
God,
Aldridge, what you was
man.
getting out of Brooke Lopez, like they had a
They
Batum,
had
Robin
a
Lopez
starting
Brandon
five that
Roy.
they literally got like maximum effort out of the
every night,
entire time. Like they got 100% from them dudes
and McCollum was
every
Marcus
night.
Camp,
and,
Marcus Camby.
mhm. And then they had I think
That was
Thomas
a good
Robinson
squad.
before he started to fall off. So yeah,
Oh God, Thomas Robinson, that
man,
dude.
that's one of
Hey,
my favorite
hey,
players.
hey,
No,
hey.
I
There will
loved his
be no
college game. I
more
loved his
bashing on this
double.
podcast.
When you talk about
I
double
just this
machines in my generation, I think of Michael Beasley and Thomas Robinson when it comes to
man.
college.
Thomas Robinson
Those
Man.
fucked up a whole
those
lot with the Rockets. I'll never
those.
forget that. I'll never forget the
Thomas
missed
is
dunks and
Thomas
layups,
Thomas
man.
hadn't been the same ever since he
All right,
lost
Chris,
that national championship
are
game,
you
man.
more mad at Thomas Robinson or Terrence Jones? Like who are you rooting
Terrence
for?
Jones.
That's what
Terrence Jones. I'm more bad
what,
at Terrence Jones because
what
Terrence Jones
Thomas
be out
Robinson
there.
is not nothing compared to ISO Terrence Jones.
Terrence Jones be thinking
Out
he
there,
a point guard. He be thinking he one of them old school point guards. Be trying to do like the fake pump. I'm like, no,
he was
stop.
Terrence Jones
trying to like
waving off.
size people up with like the hezzy pump. I'm like, come on, Terrence.
He look crazy, dog. He look
Terrence
crazy.
Jones waving folks off before he even cross half court. Just nah,
I
move,
say, nah,
move.
dog.
I
It
got
was
it.
like every
I
time
got it.
he did like a Rick Ross grimace. Oh,
I don't know
oh,
who got. I don't get who's scared. Yeah,
oh.
that is how you do it. Dog. I don't know what's scary. Hey, dog. People act like the Rockets didn't have a bad time, man. We had to deal with Terrence Jones and Jeremy
Oh
Lin at one
man.
time.
God, and everybody taking it to the club. Like, come on,
Dog, stress levels was high in the fucking Rocket Stadium, nigga.
and
What
Oh,
offense
with
y'all
Jeremy.
run? We run the clear out. We run the clear out.
Chandler
Oh
trying to
man,
shoot first. Chandler throwing
Jeremy
his
Lin
back
was.
out.
Oh yeah, man. Jeremy Lin was notorious for going to the paint and getting stuck, and then looking.
Man.
Oh god, man.
Dribble
I
out,
remember the
drive, get boxed
struggles.
in, and then try to look around like, wait, somebody was supposed to save me. Where's
Oh
everybody?
god, man,
I
the
still remember
struggles.
the highlight of my night was a Chase Budinger alley oop. I'm like, come on, Air Bud, let's do it.
Oh man,
Get
my
up.
boy Chase
I like
Bud.
Chase. I like Chase.
He went
I
to
like
Memphis
the
and died
Wildcat.
off.
I like the little Wildcat, man. Chase Budinger did. Yeah, we had two
I
small
like
forwards
Chase.
go to Memphis and die
Hold on, and
Man.
then for people who don't know, he held it down for the Rockets in the dunk contest. Let's go, Chase
He did
Budinger.
hold it down. He did hold it.
Hello. Hello.
But
He
man,
ain't scared.
we'll jump into a little quick NFC North preview. You know what I'm saying? The anniversary episode. Last year, the Vikings finished 13-3. Do y'all
So
see any progression or regression? I already know there's gonna be a lot of haterade coming out of Wilson because these. I know it's gonna be a lot of haterade.
I
But,
will promise to stay as objective as the cheese that flows through my veins will allow, sir.
matter of fact, to start on a positive note, what type of Dalvin Cook do you think the Vikings are gonna get?
Ooh, man,
Dalvin, I need you, pimping. I need you.
Davin Cook, dog. It's in a Okay, that's okay. Let's be a little
Do,
honest,
do,
dog.
do you think the offense is going to
I
be
can
about what type of Dalvin Cook you get, or you think Latavius Murray can carry the load again?
No, I think it's
No.
they're so in love with Davin Cook because I've been looking at and been listening to what a lot of the analysts have been talking about how he's been looking in practice and what the coaches are saying about him. And once again, it's just how he was last year. They brought in Latavius Murray. They brought in Asiata. Oh no, who they bring in? No, they had Jared McKinnon there, and what happened?
Yeah.
They fed the ball from the jump to Davin Cook. They're in love with this dude, and he can. I think he can easily have what 1,800 yards, maybe 55, 60 catches. Give him a total of like 14 touchdowns. It's possible, man. And you know what Kirk Cousins is.
With,
Check
you
down Charlie.
think with all those weapons, because it's a lot of mouths to feed when you really look at the offense. Where you talk about Diggs, when you
And
talk about
that's the
Rudolph.
thing. Like I agree with everything you said, Griff, except for the yardage, and that's because of the fact that you got an All Pro and Kyle Rudolph at tight end. You got young and up and coming wide receivers and Diggs and White Lightning out there.
And Treadwell could become something. I mean, not
Oh,
well.
I
I
was
hope he
saying
becomes
18.
something.
I
I
mean,
was saying 18 all around, all purpose
Oh,
yards. I
I
mean.
thought you meant 1,800 rushing. I was
Oh no
like,
no no no
I,
no.
I'm
Oh
like,
no no
man.
no no no.
I
Oh
was
no,
like, that's my
1,800.
boy too from
1,800 rushing
Florida
yards.
State. But damn, I was like maybe 1,300 yards
If he
rushing.
had 1,800
Yeah.
Okay.
yards rushing with that defense, they'll be 16-0. Like that.
Bruh, if he had 1,800 yards, they'd be like 15-1, and I'd be uber pissed. I'd be like, I'm not even podcasting during football season. Fuck this shit.
They gonna be. I don't know. They like the Rams to me because they have the type of offense that can really just click and just take off because they're good on defense, good offensive line. The
What
weapons are there.
what
The
type
running back is there.
what type of numbers do you expect from Kirk Cousins, though?
High numbers because Kirk Cousins finally gets a defense that he can kind of lean
Think he's
on.
gonna have like
Disagree.
that breakout 40 touchdown, 30 touchdown year?
I
Oh, you say
disagree.
you disagree, Wilson? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I don't know. I haven't.
the only reason I disagree is because this, and I also disagree with the fact that I don't even think they're going to hit that 13 win mark like they did last season.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't pay attention to the fact that, I know a lot of folks don't
The
pay attention to the
schedule's not
division and
that
stuff
difficult.
like that, but the schedule's not difficult.
For a first place schedule. This seems like a cakewalk.
It
Maybe
is a
those-
cakewalk.
maybe it's
Team
just
in their division got significantly better on both sides of the
I
ball,
believe, but
and that's going to be a
also
problem for them.
they signed Sheldon Richardson also to beef up their
They
defensive.
signed Sheldon
Mm-hmm.
Richardson and stuff like that, but it's only going to improve them so much on what they already had going on, which was an elite top 3 defense anyway, that you already have film on. Sheldon Richardson isn't going to put any new wrinkles or new angles in on Zimmer style of defense. You know what you're getting. It's just the fact that you can't stop them.
Mhm.
However, when you go through and you look at the rest of the division as we preview it, every single team in their division got significantly better on both sides of the ball.
No, I'm with you
And when
100%.
you talk about that division in particular, it don't really take much to upset the apple cart and have the whole division change around.
The Bears, they got scary.
Just
People
like
don't
Packers look
understand,
good.
man. I am so high, and it sounds so awkward to say. I am so high on the Bears this season.
Yeah.
It's not even funny. They are
That's
literally
if
one
that's
of
if my boy.
they might be my NFC surprise team this season.
Well, I need my boy to stay healthy, Allen Robinson, to keep that train
And
rolling.
I think that he will, and I think that's a big reason why I have them as my surprise team this season. I think that he
Did we
actually
lose
will.
Wilson?
okay, no, he's still here. We'll get to the bed. What you think the final record for the Vikings gonna be?
I see the Vikings
the
on
Markets.
the
Oh, there we go.
I see the Vikings on the low end at, if everything fell apart for them, 9-7. If everything goes right for them, around 12-4.
Ooh, 9-7. Oh, what you say 9-7? Oh, you have a point because the Bears defense did get better. You still got Jordan Howard is going to be hungry. Trubisky should make that leap. They do have not Kevin White, but what's his name? Dude. Oh my God, the dude that we like. Oh shoot. Whatever, the other wide receiver dude that had a good year 2 years ago. I mean, it's
I
gonna
know
be
who you're talking
interesting.
about, but I can't remember his name. But
I can't think of his name to
they
save my
made some
life.
significant
Kendall
improvements.
Wright or someone else?
No, oh, they don't have Kendall Wright. He's gone. Kendall Wright is with the Vikings. Boom. Don't forget about that one.
Yeah,
Another weapon. Another weapon.
Kirk
But
got
nah, I forgot his name. But I'm just gonna say, man, the Vikings. Whoo, man, this is gonna be one of the most exciting years of football for me. Even though a lot of the fuck shit that's going on in the NFL, I'm really excited.
It's super open. It seems like you don't know what to expect. I mean,
Exactly, that's why I like it.
because the Eagles finally, like, I guess you can say, stop the Patriots dynasty, but they can get right back to the Super Bowl. But now it just feels like anybody can win. It's a little bit of parity, and once that sports parity starts to hit, it's like, man, I wonder who's gonna be the next champion.
Exactly.
it's kind of like when Drew Brees won the Super Bowl. You felt like you didn't
Exactly.
know what was going to happen.
But you got to understand and look at it though. As far as it pertains to the NFL, though, this has arguably been the biggest decade of parity in the history of the league, because unless Philadelphia repeats or somebody wins the next 2 Super Bowls in a row, this will be the first decade in the history of football that we did not have a repeat champion in said decade. Nobody's repeated this decade. Nobody.
You got a point. You got a point. Man,
Like
that's what makes
this
football
is like
good.
a dream come true for the NFL higher ups. The fact that there literally hasn't been too much of what you could call a quote unquote dynasty this decade.
I mean, you got a point. I mean, yeah, you got a point. The Patriots are the closest thing to perfection.
Yeah,
I mean,
after the Ravens got out their hairs, then the Patriots just kind of took over a little bit.
exactly.
Yeah.
But the Ravens was kicking their ass in the early 2000s.
Oh yeah, man.
Man.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what the Vikings are gonna do. I give them, like Wilson said, it upside 12-4, low side 10-6. But that division, like you said, did get better. I mean, I don't know what Detroit gonna do, but I mean, everybody else.
Detroit did just add Matt Patricia, so he should increase the defensive side of things. I mean,
that is true. He should.
They have a ton of underrated talent on said defense.
They really do.
Oh man, I can't.
They finished 9-7 last year. You think they can improve on that? Not 9 wins in the NFC is already tough.
If they can stay healthy and if they can find some way to overcome the curse of Barry Sanders and keep a healthy running back, yes, they can improve on that.
Yeah, because I mean, Golden Tate should have another bounce back year. I see that coming. Marvin Jones is going to be out there.
Guys, is Kerryon Johnson. I think he should be able to take over that offense. I don't know if they're going to have him the range with so many talented running backs back there. I know they signed LeGarrette Blount. They still got Riddick. They still got Amir. Somebody got to get cut. But Kerryon
Abdullah gone. He gone.
Hell, at this rate, they can't afford to cut none of them because all of them get hurt.
You're not lying.
That is true. Well, LeGarrette Blount might hold it on.
I mean, because LeGarrette's gonna be the thumper, Reddick gonna be the pass catcher. I still don't know what
like literally. Let's be honest about this, because I say it jokingly as a rival, but I'm still kind of serious about it. Since Barry Sanders retired, name a running back that has started 16 games for the Lions.
Maybe Joy Bell.
He never started 16 games.
Oh, he came in as a relief. Yeah, you're right.
No running back for the Lions since Barry Sanders is retired has played the entire season. Not one.
That's hard.
I mean, that's kind of hard.
Barry said, "Not only am I leaving you hoes, but ain't nobody gonna prosper after me. None of y'all."
Ooh, Lord, look at that. I would hate to compare him to Jesus, but that is Jesus-like.
And it's so funny, man, because in that division, man, you have two guys that most football guys will tell you have been undervalued to a certain extent, but definitely their careers and their legacies are improperly defined because of the fact that the parts around them haven't been up to standard.
Facts.
A lot of people don't give Matt Stafford the credit that he deserves. Matt Stafford is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football, and he has been for the last 5 years. Don't believe me? Go look at the numbers. People get caught up in the fact that he plays for the Lions. That man can play ball. That man has put up Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees like numbers over the last 5 years. He's up there with anybody that's throwing the football right now. And he suffers from no running game and horrible defensive lapses at the worst times.
And he suffers from a coach that he had that said force the ball to Calvin Johnson at all times, and I hated that shit.
And they killed
Calvin.
They killed Calvin.
They Earl Campbell Calvin Johnson.
They was throwing it, but Matt was throwing it to like triple. Like, bro, come on now, like.
Because what's his name was actually good. Tate. What's his name? That's on NFL Network. He was actually good.
Nate Burleson. Yes, he was good.
Nate Burleson. He was real good.
He was not getting the ball, bro.
Oh man, they've had plenty of good receivers over the years. They've had plenty of them, but you go through and you suffer from those things. But those are things that they're not going to acknowledge when you talk about the quarterback, but you'll hold that against him nonetheless.
I still want to know what they thought they was going to get out of Mike Williams when they drafted him in the top 10. But
bro,
I guess
one of those 15 receivers in a row that they drafted. That's another aspect.
Roy Williams,
there's another aspect of Detroit's failures that's not attributed to the quarterback, but people want to blame him anyway.
Who's gone?
Eric Ebron. That's the
Don't
who's of who. That's the who's of who.
Jeez Louise.
I've been
That's throwaway who.
between Eric Ebron and Brandon Pettigrew. I thought a Detroit tight end was gonna be a fantasy option for years.
Man, I did
For real,
too.
man. Like arguably over the last 10 years, I cannot think of a franchise that has thrown away more first round draft picks than the Detroit
Thrown
Lions.
away, like literally thrown away. Like you're no good. You can even go Nick Farley.
Yeah.
Nick Farley. What did he do? Him and Sue was supposed to be the next 2-man tandem. This dude. Oh Jesus.
You seen any one of them in the Lions uniform lately? No.
Ernie
Okay,
Sims,
just checking.
Florida State guy. Ernie Sims. He didn't pan out. It's just
Nope.
they just can't get it right in the first round. They just can't get it right at all. But what kind of record y'all see them coming up with to end this year?
Man, I don't know. It's gonna be a shot in the dark. It's gonna be
9 wins is tough. And I feel like they're gonna get tested early because I don't know what type of 49ers team. The Jets could be
8-8.
motivated. The Patriots gonna be a
Yeah,
tough.
for me, I look at them as an 8-8 team.
Yeah,
I think they'll be better. I think be better like the next year. I think when they get a chance to gel with Matt Patricia, I think they'll be better.
No,
But this year, they
if they running backs can put up a damn good tandem or a trio, then they have a chance. But
they got a chance to
make it because they really don't have enough weapons. If you ask me, I mean, I like Tate, I like Jones, but I don't think they can just carry the.
What
full
about Galloway?
in a full shootout.
I like Galloway.
Kenny,
I like Galloway too, but they got to get him more into the Florida offense. They're so
Yeah.
sporadic with the times that they get him targets that he's not a reliable option in real life or in fantasy.
I mean, the positive part is they still got the same offensive coordinator. When we talk about Jim Bob Cooter,
Jim Bob
Yeah,
Cooter.
Mr. Cooter, Cooter boy.
Jim Bob Cooter.
Hey,
Don't
you know
talk
what a
bad about
team?
my Cooter.
You know a team that could use Dez is Detroit. Detroit, they can. I think
Dez?
he would.
Anybody can use a Dez Bryant. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Yeah,
understand
I
why
mean,
he's
logically,
The only
anybody can use a Dez, but they really could use a Dez for leadership purposes and a reliable target.
And
But
it would
Dez got to
free-
make sure that his mind is right and that he's focused.
And it will guess what? It will take the number one coverage off of Golden Tate, and he can flourish a little bit better.
Oh yeah, you put Dez Bryant on the Lions, and Tate might catch 1,800.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
That's a good dude.
That's high praise.
Man, I feel so
That's
bad.
high
I feel so
Oh,
bad for
Tate is
Russell Wilson.
one of the 5 most
No, I get it, but
underrated
if-
wide receivers in
if he-
football, man.
If he can work in the slot full time, oh yeah, he can easily be a 1,500-yard receiver.
Hey, two of the most underrated wide receivers are my boy Golden Tate and the good old Keenan Allen.
I don't think
Facts.
Keenan Allen is underrated anymore.
Man,
I think he showed that he's legit a top 10 receiver.
But nobody treats him as a top 10 receiver at
I
all.
But he plays
always like
in
him.
an area where he's ignored, so it's kind of like underappreciated or underrated by default because nobody really checks for the Chargers like that.
Two of the most underrated is going to be Keenan Allen and honestly Michael Thomas. It's criminal how he was. What is
Michael
he?
Thomas.
50. Michael Thomas. He was what 57 on the little top 100 crap.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
I think he was in the 70s. Honestly,
Should have been like top 40, top 30.
Yeah.
ooh, easy. That dude right there.
Yeah, but the thing also another note with Keenan Allen with Henry being hurt, he's still
He gonna get them targets.
Because
Oh, he's gonna eat this season. Don't get it twisted.
Oh,
He's gonna eat this season.
Red
He don't have no choice.
zone. Red zone
once,
targets.
once Phillip lock in on that one receiver,
Yeah, he gonna get it in.
you
Oh,
can
no, he
write,
gonna
you can
eat.
write down 1,300 yards minimum and just fill it in.
Yeah.
from there.
Hopefully,
Good
Mike
13,
Williams
14
wake up.
touchdowns. Get it?
I mean, Mike Williams, I think he's going to benefit from Hunter being hurt and being able to get the red zone target. So he should be a touchdown machine. If he don't have at least 8 touchdowns, then something went wrong this year.
Do they still have what's his name? The good dude, the dude that stepped in when Keenan Allen got hurt. Oh, I can't think of his name.
Tyrell Williams.
Tyrell Williams. They still got him.
Yeah, they
They
got
should
a
be
nice
good.
receiving core. They got a nice.
They have
that
they have
defense.
an underrated little core, and a lot of people, you'll be surprised if you go through and you start checking out some of these magazines and stuff like that. There's a lot of folks that look at the Chargers as like a dark horse Super Bowl pick. To be honest,
if Melvin Gordon runs like he did last year, it's a damn good option. I
Man,
heard this topic earlier. It's not a lot of elite running backs in the AFC. If you want to be completely honest,
I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. If you live in Cali, in California,
Oh, you live in life.
you are happy right now, from the 49ers to the Rams to the Chargers to LeBron coming to the Warriors. I mean, Jesus.
they all right. Angels still whack though. Mike
The
Trout is a
Dodgers.
business though. Shouts out to
Unless-
Mike
unless
Trout,
it's
best player
Ohtani.
in
Ohtani, hey,
baseball. Best
Ohtani.
player in baseball.
Man, it's
I
crazy.
mean,
It's just crazy. LA is
he's no Alex Bregman, but okay. Okay.
hey,
Oh my God, he
women,
did not
weed, and
just say
weather,
that.
and sports.
But okay. Alex Bregman putting
Facts,
the moves
Griffin.
on boys.
Facts.
Man,
Women, weed, and weather, and sports. You might as well just throw
man,
winning in there. Women,
no,
weed, weather, and winning.
well,
We
who
all
didn't
about
have a
them
winning
Duns.
record last year was the Packers finishing at 79. Hopefully they can
Oh,
Really?
turn.
You just gonna do
shots
that? You
fired.
just gonna do
Oh,
that?
he did.
You just gonna do that?
He's so
See how
childish.
I dumped out on him
You
one
just gonna
time.
do that? Wow. Okay.
He took a
All
shit
right.
on your lawn, nigga. That was so mean.
All right.
But I
Bet.
mean, when you
Bet.
talk about the offseason, I can't name a team that added more pieces than the Packers. When you talk about Jimmy Graham, Wilkerson, Kaiser,
Big pieces.
Lewis, bringing back Mike Pettit, Jair Alexander, Josh Jackson, Equanimous St. Brown. This team
Aaron
has
Jones on the
10
PEDs.
wins. No, that's not PEDs, man. He got
No,
suspended
that
for
was weed.
Oh, he
no,
That
got
was
the
weed.
for weed.
no, I don't even think it
Yeah.
was drug. I thought it was like abuse
He
or something.
got popped on a traffic stop and he had marijuana in the vehicle. It was weed.
Oh shit! I thought he was on PEDs. Oh my god.
He did get bigger. He did get bigger.
Because he
If it
came
was
back looking like the
Well,
Hulk.
the thing about it though, if it was PEDs, I believe first offense when you actually
That's
get
4 games.
tagged on PEDs is 4, not
Yeah,
2. That's why I'm pretty sure it was marijuana.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So man, as long as Aaron Rodgers comes back healthy, I don't see this team winning no less than 10 games, of course. And
Dog,
I think
they
even the early part of the schedule goes out in their favor when you talk about 3 of the first 4 games being at home. Really, 4 of the first 6 being at home. So they gonna get off to a hot start. They're gonna have a bye week. Then they're gonna come back with 2 tough road games. But if they show their ass against those Rams and Patriots, it's gonna be trouble for anybody that got to play the Packers after that.
man, Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams, dog, and Jimmy Graham. It's gonna be so beautiful to watch the Packers play. Dog. I can't wait to watch them play.
And don't sleep on Randall Cobb because Randall Cobb can stay in the middle all
Oh,
day.
he gonna eat. Oh, he gonna eat
Don't-
regardless. But I'm talking about
no,
just the sheer fact of those are 2 players who don't get enough attention to me because Devontae Adams still has been under the radar in my opinion, and then Aaron Jones, look at him. The dude is massive.
you still
He
you
coming
still
to do
got
some work.
Williams. That's what I'm saying. You still got Ty Montgomery.
Man, Williams look really bad at the tail end of last year. I don't know.
It could have been that rookie wall, man. I mean, he did get hurt, so he was kind of like battling back from injury.
Who Wilson like?
I believe he's an Aaron Jones guy. I believe
As far as the running game is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I hate to disappoint folks, but there is no running back in Green Bay's backfield that's worth anything in fantasy football. In real life, it's going to be a traditional split and timeshare. A lot of people are overlooking the fact that the Green Bay Packers have not batted an eyelash or given up on Ty Montgomery at all.
Mm-mm.
They've
he's still the
actually added more plays in the playbook for Ty Montgomery in this upcoming season.
Can he change that number? What's the deal with this, man? Like,
No, sir. Did Rob Bernstein change his numbers for the Chargers back in the day when he was back there with Marion Butts? Hell no. Mm-mm.
back there with
Leave that
that
80, let that 88 be great.
You need to get 28.
But as far as the Packers are concerned, man, I mean, they've made a lot of great additions and stuff like that. But as far as any diehard fan knows and all the football minds know, the biggest offseason addition they made was Aaron Rodgers. If you go back and you look, and I actually posted an article about it on our fan page. If you go back and you look at the last 16 games that Aaron Rodgers has played, including the playoffs, starting back when they played Washington in that year that they had to run the table to get to the playoffs and all that good stuff. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 43 touchdowns with 9 interceptions, and the Packers have gone 12-4 in the last 16 games that he's played. All 4 losses have been on the road, and they've all been when the defense has given up more than 28 points a game. In said 12 wins, the Packers scored over 35 points a game and only gave up 19. Add to the fact that he now has a tight end stable with the duo of Mercedes Lewis and Jimmy Graham that's the best since they had Chimura and Keith Jackson back in the Favre days. You go through and you look and see that they arguably have the best collection of running back talent that they've ever had since Aaron Rodgers has been there. Mixed in the fact that they're changing up their scheme but they have guys back there that are equal parts veteran, whether it's Devon House or Tremont Williams, and young and hungry, whether it's Kevin King coming back healthy, uh, Jair Alexander, Josh Jackson, who nobody really thought they could get either one of those guys in the draft, and they looked up and got both. Coming back and having those little things pop in, having a healthy Vince Beagle and seeing what he's about, throwing him in that rotation with Clay Matthews and Nick Perry on the rush side. Having a Kenny Clark continuing his development on the defensive side to go with Daniels and Mo Wilkerson. They have a lot of potential there. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of buildup. There's a lot of folks that are tooting that horn. As long as 12 is healthy, they're a Super Bowl contender, and that speaks more to 12 than the actual team itself. But if they can get away to let it gel, and the key is going to be who's going to pick up the slack at the number 2 receiver spot. If they can find a dedicated number 2 receiver to let Cobb function in the slot full time, then you're going to have a problem. If you have to place Cobb at the 2, yeah, well, St. Brown is good. Jamon Moore seems to be playing a little bit better right now. He seems to have more of a track. Him and Geronimo Allison seem to be the top 2 candidates right now to hold down that number 2 spot. But I mean, having a problem with trying to pick which 6'2", 6'3", 200-pound, 4'4" running wide receiver to put in at your number 2 spot, that's a good problem to have. So
give me one that's 6'6", and then his dad's a bodybuilder.
I mean,
I'll take it all day.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they go through and
day.
they have their problems and stuff like that, but it's a lot of excitement there. It's a lot of parts that you got to wait and kind of see how it gels. But that beginning of the schedule is going to dictate a lot for them. You start out with 2 division games, hotly contested, because that first game Sunday night against Chicago is going to be the business, and then you turn right back around
Sunday
and hit the Vikings. Yeah, you turn right back around and hit the Vikings. You got Thursday night matchups with the likes of the Patriots. You got the different matchups with the Rams. I mean, they play a lot of top quarterbacks in the league right now. You got Matt Ryan is coming down the pipe. You got Russell Wilson coming down the pipe. Jared Goff, Tom Brady. You actually finally get to see, hopefully barring injury, the first time that Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady have ever played each other in New England. Because the last time the Packers went to New England, he was hurt with a concussion. A lot of excitement. I try to err on the side of caution. I'll temper the expectations. For me, it's a thing on the low end. No, I'm not Maurice Jones-Jones. I'm not going that route.
Drunk when he be trying to do it.
For me, if everything falls apart, they can't stay healthy, and heaven forbid if Aaron can't stay healthy and stuff like that, I can see them at 8-8 or 7-9 again. If things click the way that they want them to, and Pettin can light a fire under that defense, and they can find their way back, because another underrated acquisition is they got their old offensive coordinator to come back too, back from Aaron Rodgers' 2011, 2012, 2013 seasons. If they can come back and find that magic on offense again, 13-3 is not out of the question whatsoever. It's a boom or bust year for them, but it's one of those years that they won't admit it, but there's a little bit of desperation behind it, because that window is closing. Aaron Rodgers ain't getting no younger. That window is closing.
And I'm not gonna lie, I think the Packers are gonna be one of the most interesting preseason teams, just to see Deshaun Kaiser run that offense, and with those young receivers out there. I think it's gonna be an interesting preseason team to watch.
Oh, they sure do got Deshaun Kaiser. I forgot about that.
That's the next franchise quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. You have to understand the logic behind that too.
You was a fan of him.
Hey, he's gonna have a chance to sit behind Rodgers for minimum 5 years.
Yeah, he's good.
And see, the fun thing about it for him is this, and it's one of those superstitions that we have as Packers fans. When you transition your GMs, we always have a bit of good luck. When we first got Ron Wolf back in '91, first move he made, he traded for Brett Favre. We got Ted Thompson back in 2005. The first move he made, he drafted Aaron Rodgers. Brian Gutekunst comes in this year. The first move he made, he traded for Deshaun Kaiser. So we've always had some pretty decent success when they come in and they make quarterback moves early. And Kaiser, I always raved about, because to me, he has a skill set that's more similar to Aaron Rodgers and what he does on the field than Brett Hundley. So it would be easier to coach him in said offense, a little bit easier
To me,
then
Kaiser is super fearless. He's scared of nothing. He loves
yeah,
Yeah,
competition.
yeah. If
and he
they
can
can
throw that.
find a way to get him on
He
those
may be
reads and get
a
him
diva,
kind
but
of,
who's not a diva at quarterback? Let's be
if you're not a diva
And,
at quarterback, you suck as a quarterback.
and he can throw that. He can throw that. He's slaying that rock.
yes, sir. Like,
Yes, and you
man,
know they're going to go through and make
that's
that arm stronger. They're going to work on his reads, and they're going to work on him learning the playbook and stuff like that. And he already has more than enough athleticism to actually play the position of. And I mean, it's funny to say, and I know I keep harping on it, but literally one of the things that I was always so high on Deshaun Kaiser about is because he always reminded me of Aaron Rodgers with his skill set and the way that he plays.
Oh yeah, Mister 45 touchdowns don't remind you of Aaron Rodgers.
No, he doesn't, because
what about the other
the
Deshaun?
one
Oh no,
thing
I'm
that
just
I
talking. I'm
always
just
harp about
talking.
the one thing that I always harp about when it comes to Deshaun, because I'm a huge fan with Deshaun, is, and I'm hoping that it comes true this year, people are going to understand you're going to have to create a whole new lane for Deshaun Watson. He's somebody that literally, to me, at this early stage of the game, has that potential to be incomparable. And I say that
Ooh.
because when you go through and you actually take an honest look at the way people talked about Aaron Rodgers, nobody compared him to anybody. He was just Aaron Rodgers. I feel the same way about Deshaun Watson.
I feel you.
I love it.
But
But he
man,
ain't throwing 45 this year. Don't get it twisted. Y'all gonna give me that candy.
Oh, 45 in the bag.
what's the record you got, Griffey?
Um, 12-4.
12-4. Okay.
The only reason why is because I really like their defense, and then with them having Aaron Rodgers having time to throw the ball, and you can't stop him. So
Like I
he's
said,
gonna be back with a vengeance because he was hurt last year, so
as long as they
he
get off
has
to,
motivation.
I expect him to get off to a good start early. You know what I'm saying? Having four home games before the bye week, and even after the bye week, even though those are tough matchups, they have a lot of time to prepare for both teams, and it's gonna be 6 weeks of tape minimum on the Rams and the Patriots. So as long as they can get one of those two games, I think everything else after is gonna be a cakewalk.
They're going
They'll
to win
beat the
both of
Patriots.
those games.
Oh, I was gonna say they're gonna lose to the Rams.
They're going to win that game because I'm going to be there cheering them on.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
motivation.
Uh-oh.
Aaron Rodgers. I see you, Wilson.
They're
Going
gonna
down.
feel me up in there. They're gonna feel me up. I might go to jail in LA that weekend. It's all good.
Oh yeah, fuck up LA. The LA riots 2.0.
Yeah,
They're
we have to
gonna have me on the
burn.
news screaming, just no Rodgers, no peace, no
Yeah.
Rodgers, no peace. Get your hands out my pocket.
Sir,
throwing swim
go sit
moves.
down. Send us a worded email. We'll get back to you.
Okay, it's only the first quarter, sir. I'm gonna need you. To
The first quarter.
Bro, if you
but
live,
you saw that drive though. You saw
7
that drive
minutes left in
though.
the first quarter.
That boy, he hype off at kickoff.
Sir, they only got a field goal. Calm down. But you saw how that boot went through though. You saw how it went through. We coming, baby. We coming. It's Super Bowl.
I see you, crossbar. Mason crossbar.
Just somebody take his jersey off and escort him out of the building, please.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. You know, the Bears, they end up going 5-11 last year. They had a lot of nice pieces. You know, my favorite pickup from the Bears got to be Roquan Smith. I raved about this dude all draft season. I love him, bro. I love Roquan.
I love Roquan. I hate seeing him in a fucking Bears uniform though.
Man, you talk about Allen Robinson, Trey Burton. They got a couple of pieces, man. Anthony Miller, beast up
Still
in
got
college.
those running backs. Still got that decent. I mean, their defense already was solid last season. And
Oh,
you
they was
just
real
added
good.
a-
Running
and-
defense was on
And
point.
they got rid of Jeff Fisher 2.0 and John Fox. Like so,
Don't
everything
do
is.
John like that. Don't do
I
John.
Don't
got
do John Fox like
Don't
that.
do John like that.
Am I wrong?
John don't do 8-8 every year like that.
Am I wrong?
John rebuilds teams well.
I like
Yes,
John.
you
I like
are,
John.
because Fisher will
No.
squat on talent. Fisher squats on talent and stunts people's growth. You see that in
Well,
golf and stuff like that.
Fisher was
Fox
pretty good at
comes in
drafting.
and builds teams up. It's
Fisher was
just
pretty
that,
good. They just couldn't execute. But Fisher team
nah,
was pretty
bro.
good. They just
Nah, bro. You're not gonna tell
man,
me off of what we saw.
they same boat, man. They
You're
same
not gonna
boat,
tell me
man.
what you saw with Fisher's golf and what you saw with McVay's golf. No. That's somebody stunning a player's growth. Nah. And John
yeah.
Fox has a much better track record as far as success, taking teams to the playoffs, success in the postseason. He's like light.
I mean,
It's like he's
Fisher
Vince
has
Lombardi
too.
compared to Jeff Fisher.
Oh my
Hey,
god, Fisher
remember-
lost the Super Bowl.
You
division.
cannot have playoff success if you're going 8-8 every year. You can't.
He had it
Rem-
early. I ain't gonna say he had it every year, but John Fox had his early too.
Remember they added Taylor Gabriel. That should be a nice little deep threat
I mean,
to open up the
give
offense.
Trubisky any kind of weapons at this point. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's an upgrade. Yeah,
he
every
got
receiver that they got
he
with an
got
upgrade,
three
but Gabriel
receivers.
is going to be somebody that's going to be sneaky good.
He got 3 receivers, a tight end, and he still got Kevin White and whatever he could become. So
And he
And
still
still
got
got that backfield to take pressure
Tyree
off.
Cohen.
Yeah, he got
Tyree
Tyreek
Cohen
Cohen
and
coming
my
out of the
boy
backfield. He got Jordan Howard out there.
Yeah,
Like,
the
he's
person
got
that
weapons.
Demarcus Hay, Jordan Howard.
I still don't like Jordan Howard.
Better
Man,
than
you
Bill.
rude. That dude. Do you know he got the second most rush yards in the league behind Ezekiel
Don't
Elliott?
And there was a whole bunch of
Better than
bums
Bill.
last year running back.
Better than
Ooh.
Bill.
Man, nah, ain't nobody better than Bill. Y'all already know
Better than
Le'Veon Bell is the
Bell.
best in the business. Y'all can't tell
Nah.
me nothing about Le'Veon Bell.
Nah.
I know the Le'Veon
Best in
playing
the
like the
business.
Like a
He
little
got-
bitch.
Yeah.
He complained like a little bitch.
He the best in the business. When you the
Whatever.
best, that's what you do.
You
Hey,
misspelled
best.
Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley, son.
Man, y'all wasn't even know Todd Gurley. God
You
damn it.
misspelled David Johnson.
Who? How many yards he had last year?
I did hear somewhere that Le'Veon Bell was like 250 yards away from having
Best.
I think it was like the fastest to get to
Yeah.
8,000 yards for a running back behind
Don't forget
Eric
about
Dixon.
don't forget about the 80 catches a season too. Don't
Yeah,
forget
you're
about
right. He good. I give him that, but I mean Ben Roethlisberger. If it ain't Antonio Brown, you know who it is. Le'Veon Bell.
See,
Catching
Jordan
these
Howard ain't got those type of hands. He need another little running
Jordan
back.
Howard
coming.
don't need them type of hands because he got them
Man,
type of legs. He
And,
makes
that-
it happen.
and that's why he's never going to be considered a top 10 running back. Right?
Whatever.
Ooh, you
He's
disrespectful,
considered a
dog.
top 10
He ain't
running
got-
back as early as last year and the year before that. What you
He
talking
ain't
about?
got those hands. He ain't got those hands. He's not a legitimate
Whatever.
top 10 running back. Come
Man, I'm gonna pick up
Whatever.
Jordan Howard. And I hope I play you in the championship round.
And you gonna be so disappointed when
Man,
carried me
and
to
get
victory.
that work, homie. You gonna
when
get that work put on you.
Tyree Cohen coming there and get 3 catches. One of them gonna be for a long touchdown. They're gonna be
Hey,
in
you
and
gonna
out.
get mad? You get mad when you see that 23
don't get me
carries for 87 yards and
Jordan
2
Howard-
touchdowns on your ass.
He's the goal line running back. I can't take that away. He's like Lindell White on steroids. If you want,
Hey man, I'll take it. Give me them 3 touchdowns. I'll take it.
but you're not gonna get
He
that
better than Bell.
with that offense and Matt Nagy and what he want to do with Trey Burton. Those.
Oh yeah, Trey Burton gonna eat, man. It's
Those
gonna be
rushing
interesting.
touchdowns not gonna be there.
But then again, hey, I've never seen Trey Burke play a full season, so we're gonna see
And I
if he gonna
understand
last.
that, but with Hunter Henry out the picture, the tight end that I moved up the most has to be Trey Burton.
Mine that I've moved up the most is Kyle Rudolph, and I just been looking at
With all
just how
those weapons.
Well, the only reason why is because the offensive coordinator loves. Well, the offensive coordinator loves the tight end, and
I feel you. I feel you.
and Kirk Cousin, that's his best
I
friend, the tight
actually
end.
think you guys might want to take a little side look, especially in later rounds, at Mercedes Lewis.
I don't want no Packers tight end.
I don't want Mercedes Lewis at all.
You should this year because they're going to be red zone heavy this year.
But you already know the thing about tight end. It's like if you don't get one of those elite ones early, then you just wait. But I'm not waiting around for. I'd rather wait around for Eric Ebron and see what he can do with the codes. You know what I'm saying?
will remember you said that when Mercedes has his 7 touchdowns this
I'd
season.
rather wait around for Mike Gesicki up in.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you
You pick a okay. We'll do this. You pick a tight end. You say Mercedes Lewis. Okay, who you got,
Yep.
DeMarcus?
I'll take a Mike Gesicki right now.
Okay, and I take Ricky Seals Jones and see who has the most yardage.
He's not a tight end. He's not a tight end. He's just a fat receiver.
A fat receiver. That's cold, man. That's cold. That's
a fat receiver. He did not get drafted as a tight end. He did not come in the league.
that is
playing tight end.
Antonio Gates. That is Antonio Gates out there.
He's a fat wide receiver.
You got Gronkowski, you got Kelsey, you got Ertz,
And that's it. And Rudolph. And that's it.
And Rudolph.
So it gets super slim. That's why I say like top 5 potential.
Well, it doesn't get super slim. It just kind of goes down a significant peg.
Yeah, because you got like
Graham is right there on the cusp. You have other receivers that are in there. You got a Trey Burton for Chicago that's right there. Delaney Walker that's right there. I mean, you have options out there.
You got your Charles Clays of the world. It's so many other tight ends that I'd much rather have.
Well, no, I don't know about Charles now because
I don't know about Charles
throwing to him anymore. I mean
Yeah,
that love affair is broken now.
Tyrod
Catino
gone.
Mobley,
If
Catino Mobley is still there in Buffalo, but Steve Francis has moved on. The
Yeah,
Magic just might not be there anymore.
yeah.
hey,
It may not be there at all.
if no LaShawn McCoy there, then hey, they gonna have to pass to somebody, baby.
I
They
do
gonna have,
like
We hoped it.
what about Njoku? I do like him.
I like the.
I
That's what I'm
think he'll
saying.
take a step. I think he'll take a step. But that being said, I mean, him
It's a
getting
couple tight ends.
600 yards and 5 touchdowns this year is taking a step, but that don't necessarily put him in the top tier tight ends
Now,
either.
Hey, do y'all?
if you talk about a lead
We
to
forget him.
who you talking about? Who you talking
Oh,
about?
keep going.
Who
No,
you
I was about
talking
to say y'all forgetting about Elvin Ingram. He gonna be out there.
No, not forgetting about him. Not forgetting about Jared Cook either, who I think is
he
going to
has
have a
top
good
five
season if he
potential.
can stay healthy.
Top five potential.
Who is Jared Cook with? The Raiders still?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Uh,
like arguably, there's a tight end that's like in hell right now. I know he thought it was all good when he first decided to go, but anybody seen Julius Thomas?
man, Julius Thomas got cut. He got cut from the Jags.
Got paid though.
He did get paid, but he got
because
booted.
Jazz got all the tight ends. They got some fair.
Yeah, he got paid.
They scooped them all up. But man, what kind of record y'all got the Bears ending up with?
6-10.
A slight
And
improvement.
if I want to be quite honest, if they happen to click like Marcus was talking about, I can see him finishing off at 8-8.
Well, I mean, they gon' I don't think they're gonna be tested super early because we don't know what kind of Seahawks team they're gonna be facing. We don't know what kind of Cardinals team. We don't know what the hell the Bucks are gonna be.
That's 3 dubs right there.
That's what
Man,
they could possibly be 3-1.
You misspelled 3-0, fam.
That is a 3-0 because Seattle should be doing nothing.
Like,
And then,
I fully expect them to lose to the Packers unless something significant.
I agree.
So
No,
Well,
actually,
the other
those
part
games
that
are really interesting.
is the fact that this is our 100-year anniversary, and they requested to play Chicago opening night. It's our 100-year anniversary of being a
It's a away
football
game?
team.
Ain't no way.
No, this is in Lambeau.
Ain't no way
They're gonna try to put 70 on the Bears just for old time's sake. I can tell you that right now.
And it's gonna be the last game of that crazy ass Sunday.
And you know what? And just how crazy of how football is, watch that game be really fucking entertaining. And the Bears play way better than we expected.
Trubisky don't know about that rivalry. Them receivers that just came in don't know nothing about that rivalry. Roquan Smith don't give a damn about that rivalry right now.
He gonna have a pick.
Yeah. It's going to be contested, and that's why I have them as one of my surprise teams. I think that the Packers will win. I don't think that the Packers will win by much. They might win that game like 23-17, something like that. I do not see that being a easy win for them. I have them as like I said, one of my personal surprise teams in the NFC. I think at the low end, they might repeat 5-11 if things don't work out. But if they get it and get its click, I can see them finishing 9-7, compete for a wild card spot.
If Trubisky's even normal or average in that game, he's gonna be a hot free agency pickup on the waiver wire.
If folks ain't dumb enough to draft him outright, they gonna miss out.
But you know what's crazy about this is it's a lot of quarterbacks.
He ain't no Pat Mahomes, but I feel
you don't have to. But think about this. You don't really have to be high on a lot of quarterbacks because it's going to be a good year for a lot of the quote unquote okay quarterbacks like the Eli Mannings and the Matt Ryans and the.
Oh no,
I mean it's a throwers league. You kind of get good seasons by default from a fantasy standpoint.
It's about 20 quarterbacks that should be effective this year. At least 20.
Yeah, like literally, you have to really try hard to get a bad quarterback in fantasy football nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Like
they'll pretty much get you points by default.
It's like Ryan Tannehill or whatever going on in Buffalo. Yeah, that's what I
don't want the Jets quarterback.
You get the chills.
It's like, don't give me nothing with the Cardinals.
Thing about it, man, when we go down and we do our breakdown for the AFC East, you might be inclined to think differently about that Jets pick. They might actually be pretty decent.
Give me Sam Bradford for the week 1, and then I'll cut him.
They get Trubisky versus those Seahawks because
you may have no choice but to cut him.
Yeah, he gonna be hurt.
Yeah, he could.
You might have to IR him.
He could be dead.
Kiki,
stop!
Oh my God! I promise.
Are you right?
When I see you.
Stop! Yeah, we gotta fight. Man. We gotta fight.
You got to, man. We got to.
Hey,
culture,
but it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Everybody loved that trash ass Dre song, but he got like some better shit on his album. He got this one song, Can't Tell a Joke, man. That song go hard. Blast that shit back if you blast. And I say, yeah.
The album's good. The album's good. I must say. I
Man,
haven't
it's
really got down
okay.
on the B side. I'm more of an A side guy myself.
I mean, it's okay, man. It's just like Dre doesn't do anything. He doesn't. I don't know, man. He just doesn't do nothing for me.
I
It's
feel
like
you.
okay, that was cool.
I feel
Yeah,
you.
move on. I don't even know if we talked about that album.
It's kind of like rock
We
movie.
didn't need to.
Yeah,
Huh?
you really don't need
We
to.
really
I
didn't
agree.
need to.
If you do want to listen to something, go listen to that Gangsta Gibbs. Hey, hey,
Man, man, drop that music. What else you got? What-
that's it. I think that's the only thing I've been jamming, honestly. Oh, Meek dropped a EP, four track EP that was
Womp womp
decent.
womp.
Oh,
Oh, dang,
oh,
you give Meek the womp womp womp?
He
oh,
got the
Damn, nigga.
womp, bro. Come on,
He
man.
got,
oh.
I don't know, he got that song he got with Miguel is pretty deep. I mean, I like that song. I mean, it's cool. I
Listen,
can
yo,
understand.
it's been a good month. Well, June was a great month for music, but it kind of burned me out. So it's like I really don't want no new. I'm still trying to.
Yeah, I went to
Oh,
R&B.
I'm
I
still
went back.
trying to
I
soak
kind
it.
of
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had to tone it
I
down.
take a break. I had to take a break, dog. I was like, damn, man,
It
I
was
was
too
kind of stressed
savage.
out.
I haven't even heard the Nas album. I don't need to, but I'm just saying I haven't even gave it a chance.
That's what I'm trying to tell people, man. June was so great of music, and then that Drake came out, and I was just like, y'all, I'm kind of tired of rap
I
now.
was overwhelmed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do. Then you had
That
Jay.
nigga had 25 tracks. I'm like, come on,
25
Drake, dog. What are
tracks,
you
man.
doing, dog?
Had the Kid Cudi, had the Kanye. Yeah, it was a lot going on, bro.
It was
J
stressful.
J Rock, it was a lot, bro. I'm still not recovering.
Yeah, you got to
Still
catch
not
up,
recovering.
man. You got to catch up.
That Daniel Caesar though.
Hey,
You
my
know
boy.
what, Doug? I saw him on the BET Awards, and I was just like, damn, this dude looks nothing like I think he sounds.
Oh
Yeah,
my
voice doesn't match the body, but man,
Yeah, the dude can sing. The
God, no
dude
for
can
song,
all you
sing.
young bucks,
no song.
for all you young bucks that are listening to this podcast, just trust old Uncle Buzz right now. If you take it old school and you on the phone with your little breezy or somebody you trying to make bay, and you play that song in the background and you can't win, throw the whole relationship away.
It's over. It's
Ooh, she
over.
may
If
not
you
be
if
easy. She may
as a
not. The
man, if
panties
you
may not
cannot,
drop.
I don't care who it is. If as a man, if you cannot win with Daniel Caesar's "Get You" playing in the background, throw the whole relationship away.
Man,
Man,
She may hate you after the song is over, but you should win while the chorus is playing. Just saying,
hey, J Rock said win, 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 win.
man,
man.
man. That's what I'm talking about. Man, anything else y'all got for the folks?
Man, that's it, man. Just go back and appreciate good music and jam some of that good old Ti. There was an argument that we need to talk about next podcast. Is who had the better run from 2004 to 2008 between Ti and Lil Wayne. We gonna really
Ludacris,
talk.
Ludacris.
Oh, we could throw
Hmm.
Ludacris in there too. We
Gotta,
gonna compare their
If you
albums.
throw Ludacris in it,
gotta
then the
throw.
argument is over. If you throw
You
Ludacris in it,
gotta
then the
throw.
The
argument is
only
over.
the only reason why I say this because this is the run of Ti from 2004 to 2008. He had Urban Legend,
Now that's my
King,
shit. Urban
Ti
Legends is my
versus
shit.
TIP, and then he had that Paper Trail. And all Luda
Take
had
me
during that
to what
run
you
was Chicken and Beer
beautiful
and Red Light District
man, but
and
Chicken and
Theater of the
Beer,
Mind. Hey, Chicken and
Chicken
Beer
and
Hmm.
was a classic album, but
Hmm.
Red
classic.
Light
Hmm.
District,
Hmm.
Theater of the Mind. Ooh.
But come on, you got to take it like a couple more because Ludacris kind of built that. I was in Atlanta when Ludacris was popping, so Ludacris
Man,
kind
I've
of
been a
built
Ti.
that
fan of
foundation. Like,
I've been a fan of Ludacris's since he did his guest spot on Fat Rabbit on Timberland and Magoo's album.
man,
I'm
oh
extremely
Magoo, you brought
biased
it
when it
back with
comes to
Magoo.
Ludacris.
Oh, I like Magoo.
I'm
He had a
extremely and I'll be honest about it. I am extremely biased when it comes to Ludacris. Like when you talk about my favorite rappers of all time, like Ludacris is in my top 5.
Oh yeah,
I love Luda. I love Luda, and it's the only thing that this is what I will always say. Luda
that's
was super animated, but I did enjoy Ludacris. With Ti, man, Ti was this thing. He had some crafty stories, and he brought
yeah.
storytelling back. Man, I really enjoyed that.
It is nothing wrong with Ti. Ti has
No, it's two different styles. styles,
It's
but it's two
styles.
different markets and two different
But that
demographics that
but
you appeal to. You
that's
know,
Splash Waterfalls. Come on, that do something to me, bro.
Ooh, man, that
That's
like the
so
that
one thing that I love about Ti is the fact that his gritty storytelling is one of the things that will always carry him over the top. The passion that you can hear in his voice when he talks about
hmm
certain subjects will put him
when I
over the
first
top.
when I first heard 24s, I'm like, hey, cut that up. I don't know who that
Yeah,
is, but please cut that up.
but make no mistake
shit.
about it. Make no mistake
Or
about it.
never
The
scared.
the
Ooh,
absolute elite use of punchline, simile, and metaphor by one Chris Bridges is like top
man.
three all time.
Hey, one of my favorite songs from my boy Luda is that "We Got Them Guns." I would never get tired of that
Yes,
song. You
yes.
talking
The
about
feel my
lyrical
show me
spitting?
the shotgun.
Shit,
A
man.
good microcosm of Ludacris for me, like one of my favorite songs of his, like of all time, that pretty much gives you everything that Ludacris is about in a nutshell, is the Southern Fried Intro.
I like
Yeah.
that too. You know what? I did love that. That
That song literally will make me start a fight in the club.
you know what? That's a classic album. That's a classic album. That Chicken and Beer is a classic
Oh
album.
yeah.
It's a classic, bro.
Oh yes.
So
Diamond in the back,
I just feel like
pussy
you gotta
popping
throw
on
him
the
in that conversation.
handstand.
Oh man,
Get back, man. That
Yeah, he
was
gets it in.
you gotta throw him up
Freaky
in there.
Thoughts or
Cause
whatever. Yeah,
I was okay with Wayne, but it's like everybody was on Wayne, so
yeah.
I kind of
The
like
only reason why I don't throw Wayne up on that same level and stuff like that is, to me, to a
I mean
certain level,
he's in
and
the conversation.
I know Wayne enthusiasts will hold it against me, but for
Man,
me, I
they they,
always felt that he
they were
gave so
rioters.
much more energy to his guest spots than he did to the shit he actually put on
Yes,
his albums.
Exactly.
his
I
feet
agree with that.
his features were fucking fire, man.
Hey, but
His
that Carter
features
2
were
was
are he, like he can create a greatest hits album just off
hey,
features.
that
But
Carter 2 man had
but
one of
I
the
honestly,
coldest air track
that's how
intros ever.
that's how I feel about T Pain. Also, I know he's not the same type of artist, but I feel like T Pain features are way better than his actual work. It's just
That three ring
I
circus
can
is a
agree
damn
with
good
you.
album.
Yeah, Three Rings is his classic. That's
That is his
his
classic, man. That album was
masterpiece. Yeah.
amazing. But I never, hey, nothing is better than T.I.'s. Hey, let's get away.
let's get the room on the other
For the
side
other
Yeah.
of
side of
town.
town.
Yeah. Low key, if you at the club and that song comes
Hey,
on and you
baby,
can't
I
win
was
with
thinking.
whatever shorty you looking at,
If you can't win
Throw it,
throw it
with that
on
throw
in.
song
it
on,
away,
oh, dog.
throw it
Except all
away.
If you
else.
can't get no combo off that song and a margarita, throw the whole relationship away.
But
Hey,
now, one other thing. That song made me realize. I said, "Man, this nigga Ti is really saying some
he
nasty
was
ass shit."
player.
But we is fucking
That's
grooving
why
to
I
this
like
nigga
him.
saying some nasty ass
Light
shit.
skin. Light
That
skin.
nigga said,
Hey,
he
Why
I don't
said,
see
"I
the
like it."
problem.
He said, "I like it when I put come up in their faces and they kiss each other with it both in their faces." I said, "Oh
man.
damn, Ti."
And
And
as a
I'm
man, I have
13
no
singing
problems
this
with
shit.
that.
I'm 13
I'm
singing
okay
this,
with
son.
Man, but
it. I mean, let them have a good time. Well, who am I to deny them that joy?
Yeah,
at all,
that is some
at
joy.
all,
That is joy.
at all, sir.
Almond joy.
You bring me joy.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
We always got to end it on a Griffin singing note.
that
Like
is
that's
a good podcast
if
episode.
it's anything I know when Griffin's in the good. Once he start those tunes, once he crank up,
Man, you always know it's a good day.
Hey, this podcast
Snap.
episode
Hold
will be
on.
called "You Bring Me Joy."
Hold on. And yes, it should be called that, but before we go, I would be remiss without having my buzz moment. In a good way. In a good way. In about 30 minutes. For one, Courtney Allison Wilson, my air, my reason, my answer to my prayers, my world, my sun, my moon, and my stars, my blessing made flesh, the woman that I refer to incessantly as my wife. I
man,
want to wish you a very happy birthday. I have been immensely blessed to have spent the better part of this last decade as bae, as fiance, as husband. Uh, you are the best thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life, and I thank the heavens every day for you. Uh, you literally saved my life and put me on a better path, and I could never, in this lifetime or the next, show you how much I appreciate that or repay you for it. I look forward to the next 300 birthdays with you. And like I told you when I stood in front of you and at that altar, this lifetime and the next, baby, I'm yours. So a very happy birthday to you. Look forward to tearing it up, and you know we're gonna turn up on Friday, getting it in. But it would not be complete without me paying respects to my better half.
Baby, I promise
Man, you
this
better
thing
sing
to
that shit. You
you.
better sing that shit.
I
So we
won't
gotta let this thing go.
that I never
Yeah,
leave.
never leave.
Everything will be
Be
alright.
alright. Hey,
Promise.
hey, Jagged Edge used to go hard, man.
Man, what man? We
Man,
hold.
About to pull out a
man,
playlist, man.
When Wilson hit that man
don't
like
do
that,
that.
he felt
Don't do that. Don't do that. You know I do the R&B. Don't do that on me. Don't do that.
DJ Wilson with the old school tunes.
got to tell Courtney.
Man, it's about to be another Drop It Off in Your Draws production.
Yeah, drop it off in your drop.
Sweet perfume.
Drop it
Man.
off in your drawers. God damn it. That is fucking hilarious. Man,
And as always, y'all can catch us on melanatedandilluminated.com
that
/
shit is classic.
It's classic, man. It's classic. SoundCloud, iTunes. Follow the page on Facebook, Fish and Grits for the Culture. We doing it for the people. We the voice of the people. We're going to continue to be the voice of the people. We should run for president if we weren't afraid to get assassinated. But I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, man.
I
They'll
don't know
be
if they-
after my ass.
I don't know if they put all three of us in office, but we have to figure
I
something.
don't like the
Hell
freeway
nah.
to
Wilson
DC,
about to
man.
piss.
It's too much traffic.
Hey,
Too much
Wilson
traffic.
gonna piss all them niggas off. Buzz moments.
Yeah.
He gonna have his own
Just make
segment.
me a secretary or something. I don't need to be a president. Just make me a
Oh yeah,
secretary.
he gonna make the Secretary of State. You gotta be the
Secretary, you know what I'm
president, son.
Yeah. Yeah.
He got
I
to
don't
be
need to be up
secretary.
there in the front.
He-
I'm in the
he's,
cut.
he's,
I'm in the back.
he's a Spurs guy. I know he can draw up a good defensive
Yeah,
plan.
yeah. They're gonna be like, where's your secretary at? Yeah, he's in the basement. He's in the basement. He didn't really feel like fucking with y'all. And that's a direct quote. He told me to tell y'all. He don't really feel like fucking with y'all. So yeah.
Signed Wilson. Signed Wilson.
You know what I'm saying?
But man, anything else y'all got for the folks before we wrap it up?
No, that's it. I mean, catch the weekly shows. Queen Sugar's on. I don't know what else is on. I ain't been watching too much TV, but
I feel you.
Enjoy your loved ones.
Here in the upcoming weeks, man, we'll go through and we'll hit it hard as far as shows that we got on now and upcoming shows and stuff like that. Because I was very excited because they've already started putting the commercials on the TV for September 4th when the Mayans drops.
Oh yeah, can't wait for that one.
Off to Sons of Anarchy. So yeah, we'll definitely get all that in.
100%, man. But as for now, this has been Fish and Grits, and you guys have just been served.
Kiki, you annoy me.
I
I'm
can't
tired.
stand you, Marcus. I'm putting hands on you on site.
I hate you so much. I love you at the same time, but I hate
I'm tired of Kiki.
Ain't no peace at the end of this podcast.
Peace.